A very good evening, everyone. How are you? So today is the last day, and last day we have amazing topic clustering to be covered. Also, I will intimate you how to submit your project work. So, am I audible? Can you give the thumbs up before we can start? Okay, cool, cool. So, I have designed today's class in two ways. In first way, I'm going to help you to look at the clusters, just a pictorial view, not in that way. So, it will be a pictorial representation how the clusters differentiate and how it works. And second thing, how it is actually calculated. So I have done the mathematics in the Excel file. I think that is going to help you also how to proceed with it. Then third is how to apply the same thing in Python using our Google Colab. And last thing is your project. How you have to submit it, we are going to discuss right over there. So first thing first, K-means. We are going to study about the K-means today. Any doubts you have as of now, you can let me know before we can start. You can write in the chat box. Any doubts regarding the course you have, please update. We can allocate 1 to 2 minutes for that. So the journey started with Python, done with the machine learning difference. What is the difference between machine learning, deep learning, and AI? How to use the Jupyter sklearn inbuilt datasets. Then we have seen SVM, support vector, and today it will be clustering. So I hope the screen is visible to everyone. Okay, okay. So guys, K-means is a procedure that we use for the clustering process. So clustering will be used for unsupervised learning. For unsupervised learning, we have clustering process, and here we can work with k-means, which is very popular. Then we have dbScan. We also have one more method which is hierarchical. We are going to cover k-means today. What is the mathematics that works behind k-means? All of them have the distance formula, how they work on. In batches, we take that session. I'm eagerly waiting for all of you to also join in my data science mentorship batch that will be starting almost after 1 week. Looking forward for all of you in that one also. So this is the case of unsupervised machine learning. You have got few data over here, and x1, x2, x3, x4. There is not much detailed information available. At the back end, I have it as Uber dataset, and in this Uber dataset, we have this first parameter as distance. This thing as uh, cost per kilometer, I guess. Maybe I forgot about this parameter. Maybe some initial cost. So this is this time. We have this as time. The next we have is a type of cab. Is it mini or XL? And this we have all seen. What are the type of cabs you take up? What is the final price that comes up? And how much time you spent in the cab or drive? And what was the distance between your destination while you're going from A to B? The last one was the feedback. But this is for me. Like I have this data set, but for working in my unsupervised machine learning, the variables names are not available to me. These are the names. And as you can see that with these names x1, x2, x3 and x4, I'm not able to categorize whether few columns are in input vectors or whether few columns are as an output column. I'm not able to categorize in that way. So once you are not able to identify your input and output in those type of data set, you pass the entire tabular form of data to the machine learning model to work on. So it works at the backend. It systematically builds relationship between x1, x2, or x1, x3, or x1, x4, maybe this way, or it can be x2, x3, or x2, x4. So on the basis of various relationship between different columns, it is able to categorize the records. You have to define how many columns you would, how many clusters you would like to have, and based on the relationship between these columns, it segregates these records. So we have something 10 records. So it will aggregate these records into maybe two clusters if I have defined. So a new column is picked up like labels. This labels is being generated by the machine learning model, our k-means. So it categorizes these rows into those labels. So 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, something like that. So it is the two clusters. What are two clusters? Zeros and ones. So the machine learning model at the back end tries to build a relationship between x1, x2, x3 and x4, and on basis of that it is able to clusterize these records. So for sending the data, I have passed the data in the form of numerical form. You have to pass the data in numerical form for the machine learning model to work. to work. So I've changed the categorical values into numerical values. On the previous slide, these were my categorical values, mini and excel. I've converted to numerical values 0 and 1. Similarly, I have the categorical values good and bad. I have changed it into numerical ones to ones and zeros. This is what you have done. The internet connection is okay from my side, guys. It's written over here that it's excellent. So please, can you just recheck and confirm whether my voice is breaking or not? Okay. Okay. I think now it is clear. So I was referring like when you pass the data set for the unsupervised machine learning to work, you have to convert the categorical values to numerical values. मतलब जो words लिखे हैं उनको आपको numerical values में convert करना पड़ेगा. There are certain methods that we'll explain in the classes, but just take a glimpse that we have to convert categorical to numerical for the machine learning model to work. After you have defined these things, a new column will be generated. After training, new column will be generated as labels. So these labels are nothing but the clusters. You have to define the clusters, how much you want. It is one, or if it is two clusters, so it will take the form 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Something that form. I don't know how it will take it up as of now. Or it can be the case that you have defined the clusters 3 over here. So the values that it can take is 0, 1, 2. In this way, it is able to segregate the records, the 10 records that I have here, into 3 clusters. So I'm giving a pictorial representation now, how it will actually look. So in this case, the same dataset was available to me. I have passed the dataset to the machine learning model to understand and work, and it generated 2 labels for it. But I have defined how many clusters I want. We don't know whether it is good or not. It can be 2 clusters, 3 clusters, 4 clusters, 5 clusters. I don't know. We have a mathematics for that also. How to decide which is the best number of clusters. तो अभी के लिए मुझे नहीं पता, सिर्फ तुक्का मारा है कि 2 ले लेते हैं. तो पूरे के पूरे डेटा सेट को उससे सिर्फ 2 कैटेगराइज में डिफरेंशिएट कर दिया, whether it is 1 or 0. So it has made 2 broad clusters, cluster 1 and cluster 2, and these are the rows that it has picked up and saved in those clusters. Later on, you have to study these clusters. In the initial stage, I was having no information about the data set. But after the machine learning has understood the relationship between all the records based on the relationship between these columns, it has defined 2 clusters, and red clusters and green cluster rows I have shown over here. Sorry, red and blue cluster rows I have shown over here. So I hope you have got this point. Sorry about this disturbance. I hope you have got this point. Okay, how we have differentiated these clusters. Again, I'm repeating the process. What happened? So we have a tabular data set in which the user, me, have no information. So what happened? I just thought like why not to send the whole tabular form of data to the machine learning model. उसको समझने तो मैं बाद में समझ लूंगा. So let the machine learning understand, then I will pick up the insights. But for sending the data, we have to convert the categorical to numerical. So the next step was categorical to numerical. And once my machine learning model has built the relationship between these columns at the backend, it was able to segregate these records into few number of clusters which are defined as labels. These are defined as labels in my system. If I say that I will be having only two labels, so my system will show 0, 1, 1, 0, something like that. And if my system says no, no, not two labels, I am telling like let's have three labels. So my system will generate these types of form. And later on, I have to do a very in-depth work to understand why. I have to take a why over here. Why records were kept on in those clusters? Were kept in those clusters. Clusters like 0, 1 or 2. Why? That is my question. Because we are doing that in-depth analytics later on. Once the model has given me the records, so this is known as descriptive machine learning. You have to do a lot of insights work to understand why it has chosen those records. As an example, the dataset had chosen these red and blue records and saved it in those clusters. But why? Why was that? What was the reason? So once you have to go for the in-depth insights for that, that is defined as descriptive machine learning. And in supervised machine learning, you are as an expert telling the dataset or model that these are the input variables and those are the input variable which I would like to predict based on my business problem. एक कंपनी में बिजनेस प्रॉब्लम को समझ के आपने बोल दिया कि ये इनपुट है वो आउटपुट है एंड आप उसको प्रेडिक्ट करना चाहते हो. सो दैट सुपरवाइज मशीन लर्निंग in supervised machine learning we call it as predictive machine learning, predictive ML. They have two different names, so don't be now confused if you start studying it is the same thing online. Okay, please give the thumbs up if you got the clarity on that. Now moving further, here I have taken only two labels. As a user, I have told like I would like to segregate the entire data set only in two labels. But this is what I am saying. Machine later on will tell me like which is the optimum number of clusters. बाद में वो एनालिसिस करके बता सकता है हमें मॉडल कि बेस्ट क्लस्टर कितने हो सकते हैं अगर आपको डेटा सेट को सेपरेट करना है. बट दैट इज द नेक्स्ट थिंग. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड हियर व्हाट हैपेंड. सो नाउ आई हैव डिफाइंड हियर 0 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 four labels, same data set, but I have told my machine to now separate these clusters into separate these records into four clusters. And just give you a pictorial view. Let's say these are the shape of the clusters we have, the colors, and this is how it has differentiated. I don't know what it has chosen, but I have to study that thing later on. Why? In that descriptive analysis we have to do. Next case, there are now six labels. So we have here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 6 layers I have. And based on the relationship between all the columns, it has categorized the records into 6 clusters. These are the 6 clusters in that way. So this is the pictorial representation. Okay, just to give you the best idea how it looks. I will show that thing mathematics also, like how it is able to choose which cluster to take up. Is it clear? If it is clear, please let me know. Then we can move to our Excel work. How I have done in Excel. So I'm going to show you that work. Let me find the file. Okay, found the file. Please let me know if the file is visible to everyone. You can give a thumbs up in the chat box, live chat box, if it is visible. Okay, fantastic. So guys, I'm showing you mathematics how the cluster works, how it is able to define which cluster to pick up. In this case, these are the steps for k-means. Specify the number of clusters. This is what you have to specify. Whether 2 clusters, 3 clusters or 4 clusters, you have to specify. Select randomly k observations from the dataset. Assign each observation to the closest centroid. You can take a screenshot. For each value of k clusters, update the cluster centroid by calculating new values and iteratively minimize the total within sum of squares. Now this is I'm going to show you over there. Here. So I have 3 variables, 3 columns. I don't know what is the type, no information. I just have 3 columns, and now what I am doing, I have created 2 more columns for the clusters. This is what I have defined. You can take 3 columns also, you can take 4 columns also. But the formula for the Euclidean distance, you can refer the formula here on the top. So let me write also. So the Euclidean distance have the formula. Euclidean distance have the formula under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. But here I have 4 points, x1, x2, x3 and x4. So we can have others also, like z2 minus z1 whole square plus m2 minus m1 whole square. And after squaring them, you have to add the values and get the square root of the whole function. That is the formula for Euclidean distance. Square root of x2 minus x1, which are nothing but the 2 points on the Excel file. So you have 2 points in this way, x1, y1, and here x2, y2. What is the distance between them? It is under root of y2 minus y1 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square. This is the formula for Euclidean distance. Here you have four values, so you can have x1 minus x the whole. Okay, you get the point. How we are getting? Just leave that thing. So the formula should be clear to you what I am doing. Same thing I am doing here. I have just three columns. I have taken two columns for understanding me, like I have to segregate these rows only into two clusters. How I am going to take it up? The very first step, decide the number of clusters. I hope you have taken a screenshot of this page. Specify the number of clusters. So in the very first step, I have specified two clusters. Second step, take randomly two values for clusters. So I have taken randomly two values which I have highlighted in yellow color. Randomly two values from this data type I have taken, and then I have applied the formula of Euclidean distance. This x1 minus this 19 minus 46 whole square plus 38 minus 43 whole square plus 32 minus 44 whole square and square root of it. This is my Euclidean distance formula. Similarly, if I go on any of the values and check again, you can see here for the cluster 1, this 50 minus 46 whole square plus 60 minus 43 whole square plus 60 minus 44 whole square, and taking a square root of that. So this is how I have calculated all the values in my C1. Similarly for C2, what I have done, taking any value, 45 minus 71 whole square plus 63 minus 67 whole square, 59 minus 67 whole square, and getting the square root of that. So I've got all the values over here by getting the Euclidean distance. So say step 3. That step 3 tells us that you have to assign the value to the closest centroid. Closest centroid. Out of these two values, C1 and C2, which is minimum. So I will assign that row to the minimum value. You can compare over here the very first few values till this point. In all these cases, my C1 has a lower value with respect to C2, and below for everything I have C2 as the minimum value with respect to C1. So I've got my rows by deciding the minimum value of C1 or C2. So this is the step 3. Step 4, update the clusters. You have identified the rows. You have identified the rows over here, C1 and C2. Now you have to take the mean of all those values to update the values in my centroid positions over here. So these are the updated values. It is equal to mean of x1, mean of x2, and mean of x3. So mean of x1 in the rows from 1 to 7, mean of x2 in the rows 1 to 7, mean of x3 in the rows from 1 to 7 for cluster 1, and we got the values in here. Similarly, for rows 8 to 19, the minimum of the mean of x1, mean of x2, and mean of x3 I have explained over here. These are the new values. Once you have identified the values, you have to go to the next step. Step 5. If the you have to stop if after again repeating the steps, with respect to these new cluster values, you get the same rows or you get the same values here, same cluster values as the previous one. So I have repeated the steps with these new values of C1 and C2. And here is the next version, repeating steps. This is the second iteration. Step 2, randomly take two values, but this time it is not randomly taken. These are the values which I have calculated in the previous. If you have not got it, please go back a few seconds. You will find how I have done the mathematics. Again, I have applied the Euclidean formula with these values. For example, 46 minus 44 point something whole square, 34 minus 49 something whole square, 36 minus 45 something whole square, and square root of it. Similarly, for x2, the formula you can see here, 58 minus 67 whole square, 57 minus 71 whole square, and 54 minus 71.9 whole square, getting the square root of it. You have found the Euclidean distance for all of them. Come to the third step, closest centroid. So as per the understanding, you can see the highlighted section in my screen. For C1, these are the new values, and C2, bottom one are the new values, the nearest one. Once you have assigned to the nearest centroid, just update the centroid values with the means of the particular x1, x2 and x3. So you can see here I have to update the values over here by getting the mean of x1, x2 and x3. So now my C1 is having the rows from 1 to 9 and C2 is having the rows of 10 to 19. I've got the means of x1, x2 and x3 for these range. Once you have updated these things, again go to the next step, next iteration. So this is the third iteration I'm doing. Again repeating the step with respect to previous values. What are the new values of Euclidean distance? With respect to this new Euclidean distance, what is my assigned cluster? With respect to this assigned cluster, what is the new mean value? So you can see here these were the previous one, these are the new ones. And in my Excel file, I have to go a lot more further to understand how many cluster positions I have. And when I ultimately have got, so these were the centroid values, randomly taken. And then while I was performing the step 2 to step 4, this was my next centroid value. Again performing, these were the next centroid value. Again performing, these were the next centroid value. Here you can see these are changes. But what happened? Here I have same dataset points 1 to 10 for cluster 1 and 11 to 19 for cluster 2. Just check over here. It is 1 to 10 for cluster 1 and 11 to 19 for cluster 2. So I have same data points over the last iteration. So this means I have reached my stopping condition. There I will stop. So what are the values that I have received? I have received four values, four centroid values with respect to that. It's a very in-depth mathematics, but I hope you have understood. It took a long time to make that Excel file, and please give a thumbs up if you like this work. Please. Good. Thank you so much. So I'm sharing the file again. How to implement the same thing in the machine learning. So again, guys, we have kept the work over here. Here it is, clustering circles. Clustering circles. This is the work that I have already done, and upload it today. So you copy this file, the GitHub link, and paste over in your Google Colab under the GitHub section and select this one, clustering circles. So this is the unsupervised machine learning, and the theory again we have linked up here. What is sklearn? So leave that word. So this is the code. We have imported all the libraries, and while I have uploaded, what we have done, I have called the inbuilt data sets, which is making circles. We have few inbuilt data sets which are for unsupervised machine learning. For supervised machine learning, I refer to the Boston housing data set, and I think it was done on third or fourth day. Please refer to that class. This last day I'm taking the unsupervised machine learning data set, which is make circles. How many samples? I'm taking 100 samples. You can change to 200 also. It's up to you. This was the data that I have there, and some output is available. So I have made a data frame from this array. From this array, I have created a data frame, and this was how the data frame looked: 0 and 1. So 0 and 1, no column names. So there is no meaning. What is the purpose of 0 and 1? I cannot identify which is the output or input columns. So what I have done, I've just made a plot for that, how it looks. You can see here very clearly they have very beautifully actually created something at the back end to make circles. And while maintaining this work, what I am doing, I am here selecting this Y values to decide what is the color variation, how they are able to say, categorize that. For example, at the backend when they were saving the data set, this something, these coordinate values are belonging to one cluster, and the next coordinate values we have 9.6 and 2.4 belongs to two cluster. It is the backend work. I am not aware of it. So I am plotting the same thing how it looks before training my machine learning. So this is how it looks. It was before machine learning. This was the pattern of data set. After machine learning, I have defined here how many clusters. Okay, let me try from the top. 100 samples, and this is the data. This is input data, and this is how I have built the plot. This is output data, and this is how I have built the plot based on the input data, how the output data can be picturized over here. Output data के respect में label 0 है कि 1. I don't know whether purple is 0, whether yellow is 0. I am not aware, but I have categorized the same thing based on the various input values I have. The input values in this way. They have given me 0 and 1 as the output. So I just plotted the same thing. That's it. What I am doing, I am performing a machine learning model over here. I am passing only two clusters. कि सबको पूरे जितने भी 100 सैंपल्स है उनको दो क्लस्टर्स में डिवाइड कर दो बस. These are the new model labels. What K-means has done at the back end. Same purpose what I was doing in the Excel file. Out of that large Excel file that I have prepared, and I was highlighting all the work to you. How much time it has taken? 1 second, 2 seconds. So this is how much faster your machine learning model is. You don't have to go in depth. And this is what I teach in the classes also. First, understand the in behind mathematics. Without that, you will not be able to proceed ahead. जॉब में क्या करोगे जाके जब तक इसका मैथमेटिक्स समझ नहीं आएगा. So understand these things first. Machine learning is making it very simple for all of you, but what is the mathematics behind it, that is complex. And for 20 algorithm, 20 different mathematics. So I hope if you join the classes, I will explain you to the best way possible, going the same fashion, going with the picturized Excel file work, and then going to show you the the Jupyter work. But here is the time is less, so I'm showing you the Jupyter codes. These things I usually write on hands-on in my classes. So after applying the metrics, I am finding one performance parameter, which is showing me 39%. What is this 39%? This is the efficiency of the model. The model has taken this parameter. It's a different formula. I cannot share the formula as of now. So it's a performance parameter formula which defines like the machine learning model has understood how much better it is performing. How much better it is performing by allocating these 100 records into two clusters. So only 39 percentage. The unsupervised machine learning model itself has given 39% points only. So similarly, we have different performance parameters for clustering. And this is how after training, this is how my machine learning model is able to differentiate all the points. Okay. So I hope you like this one project, what I have shown you. But same thing. I myself don't know which is the best number of clusters. Here I have only two clusters as per the new model. You can see here. These with respect to new models, what are the clusters? 0 or 1. I have got this type of picturized form. But I myself don't know whether it is the best way or not. क्योंकि क्लस्टर तो मैंने ही बताया ना शुरू में कि दो क्लस्टर लेने हैं. In the initial stage, I have already told my machine learning model that I would like to take only two clusters. So this is the final way. Which is the best number of clusters? So we have a elbow method for that. This is your elbow method. Leave the informatics as of now. And once you generate that type of graph, so this is like your elbow. Literally is an elbow. Every time you will get the elbow. And where you get the pinpoint, that is the best place. So as of now, I can see it may be between 2.5 to 5. Crisp point, I don't know, which is the pointed form. I don't know. It's just a bulging one. So decide as per that. But each time you will get this Silhouette score to define. This Silhouette score, it helps you to define how much machine learning model is itself working. So let's try. Okay, are you with me with that? Is it clear? Please acknowledge in the live. I would like to see in the chat box. Give the thumbs up if you are satisfied with this performance. Sorry. Now I'm going to increase the clusters. So I'm making it as 3. Now carefully see everything. 3 clusters. These are the new labels. 0, 1, 2. You can see here only 3 unique values. 0, 1, 2. 100 samples I have taken in the initial stage. My machine learning model at the back end has understood a pattern and it has given me 3 clusters 0, 1, 2. Silhouette score. Previously it was 0.39, 0.44. 0.44, so that means it has increased. The efficiency has increased now. And you can see over here, over the last graph, it was around 2.5 to 5. So I think 3 is also okay. 4 we will also try, 5 we will also try, just for our own satisfaction. And how the model looks in the pictorial view now. Currently only 2 colors, yellow and purple. Let's see with respect to 4 labels, 3 labels, 0, 1, 2. What are the new colors? Yellow, violet, green. 3 colors. So this is how it has defined three clusters for that. Same thing. Now it can increase to five also, four also, it's up to you. The file is right there in the Python ML June 21. It is right present over here. This clustering circles. You can play around here and keep on understanding more, please. I'm taking five clusters now. So five labels you will see. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Five labels you can see over here, unique labels. And what is the Silhouette score now? 0.444. 0.445. Little bit increase, but yes, it has actually has better. So I think 5 is the maximum that I can go. You can practice from your side. This is how it looks. Five clusters. So green, violet, yellow, blue, and some dark blue. This is how it is able to categorize five labels. And this is the work that is unsupervised machine learning. All of you. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please give a thumbs up. Please recommend this also to the other new users whom you think that they can benefit from this particular 7 days bootcamp. You can share the link of this playlist with among your friends and community. That will be highly appreciable. I'm looking forward to all of you to also join our at least that Python batch, Microsoft certification. Have some genuine certification from your side, guys, for have decent level job. At least you will have more package with respect to people who don't have the certification. Although it's a paid certification, but it's a globally recognized value it has, and it will take only 1.5 months to 2 months to crack it. Okay, we give minimum 15 days time to all of you to prepare. I think that's the best thing we can do, and we have the deepest challenge. What we are providing in the Python course along with the paper. Just check it out if anyone is providing. We're going to lose the business then. So I also like the Code Scholar and the College Baba on that behalf. They have a beautiful curriculum. I am I will mostly be taking the batches in the evenings only because of my job. I would like to take you in my batch as I'm taking this bootcamp for all of you, such enthusiastic participants. So please join my batch. It's just like after 1 week we are going to start. Please keep enrolling in this week only. Now, guys, I'm sharing you the attendance link, the last day attendance link. Okay, please take the screenshot. 10 seconds, please. Take the screenshot. Save it as of now. Later on, you can go back and write down. This is the last day attendance sheet, everyone. And this is the project link. Take the screenshot. We can also share the project link with you, all of you in the WhatsApp group. You will have it. Even this link will be shared in the YouTube link over here on the down side where you're watching the video. That thing will print over there also. You have 48 hours to please submit it. So by Tuesday night, the link will be off, and those who submit will definitely are going to get the certification. Tuesday night. You have Tuesday night time to submit this homework. I'm going to discuss the project, and I have made extremely simple to all of you, just to get like what you have learned, you can practice and apply in our machine learning model. All the steps are already available. So this is the attendance link. Please take the screenshot or just give a few seconds back in the YouTube live. You will get it. The link already works. Okay. This is the project what the team has prepared. I'm going to show you the same project. Now, how the project works? Let's see that work. Is the Google from? Okay. Let me know if the screen is visible now. I'm sharing that again clustering work. Yes, the attendance link, everything will be shared in the chat box. Please don't worry. So in GitHub, you can see over here, we have project clustering blobs. It's based on the last work what we have done today. Same steps, everything is same, but we require you to write down all the things. I'm just sharing you that work, clustering blobs over here. So take moons, not blobs. Actually, it's a moons data set. Okay, I've asked the team to change the word. It's not blobs, it's moons. The moons is a dataset name and it is already an inbuilt dataset. Same steps, all the same steps what we have done in clustering today, you have to perform here. And this is how your output shall look in the initial stage. This is making that information, and this is the pictorial view while defining our output also over here. And again, how many clusters you would like to have, define the number of clusters, check for the score and submit it. Define your range and submit it. So this is already done for all of you. Just have to submit with your name and do the work. But you have to take the understanding from your clustering circles. Now, what is the process for that? What is the process for that? The project link which I have shared with all of you is somewhat like this. So first, copy the message from our Google Doc. Oh, I hope you all of you have the GitHub account now. So go to the GitHub account, copy this one, copy the whole code over here and paste it in your that GitHub folder README section. This README section is the entire same thing what Google Form we have written for all of you. You have to write in the README. Again, I'm repeating. Your GitHub, make a folder over there under your Python project, machine learning project, and there you have a README file. Go to the README, copy this entire thing, and paste over there. I will ask the team to share the video also for that. After you have done this work, copy the code from this Google Doc and paste it in your GitHub README. Upload the Python project. So you can download a Python project from our Python June ML June. This is the Python project. Download this file, do your work, and again upload it. Both the files are okay with us, ipynb or .py, but it shall have your name. For example, abc.ipynb or xyz.py. This thing, and upload the GitHub link. So once you have uploaded in your GitHub folder, for example, this is the same Python project that you have done. Copy this link and share with us over here, GitHub link, and that's it. That's it, and submit the entire thing. Submit it, and your work is done. After 48 hours, the team will recheck everything. They will come back to you if you have not done, and after that, you will be having all the certificates. This is the end-to-end work what you should do with respect to Python. So I will ask the team to share the video, how we have done it. They will share a demo video. If you have anything, you can write in the chat box. So that is all for today, guys, from my side. Anyone now has any doubts, please ask it in the chat box. And guys, like, how was it today's session? Clustering. How was the clustering project? What how it was? If you have any doubts, if you have any doubts, please write the same thing in the comment section in the Google Form attendance link, and we will have a Q&A for that also. The team will get back to you on that. In this week, coming week, we will have a Q&A to discuss all the doubts that you have. Okay, the steps we have already shared in this Google form. Copy the message from the Google Doc. This is the message. Copy everything and paste in your GitHub README. So if you have a folder, create a folder with your name, something like that, and in the README section, paste that Google form information, and then upload the Python project over there. In this folder, upload your Python project, and then share the GitHub link for that project with us in the Google form below. In here, that is it. So you have Tuesday midnight time. So it's an exact replica of the making circles. You have to make blobs or make moves that way. Applications of clustering, my dear friend, is like pattern recognition. So we have got the rows, and we have to later on tell why the rows were selected. So you are not doing any work. The machine has told which row belongs to cluster. So like say in 10th class, there's a mixed crowd, and you have given 100 audience. You would like to now segregate those 100 audience into 5 classes: A, B, C, D, E. So based on the scores, height, weight, study time, play time, my machine learning model was able to differentiate that 25 records out of 100 will belong to class A, and 10 records to class B, 50 records to class C, and in that way. Later on, you have to study those class A, B, C, D, E separately. Okay. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Okay. So thank you everyone for taking the 7 days boot camp. I'm looking forward for everyone to be in my batch. I will discuss the in-depth detail on the Python, the Microsoft certification, the data science applications, and all of these things. You can connect with the team on the WhatsApp or call them. They will be good in touch with you from tomorrow onwards. Please connect with them and let me know. Let them know like if you have any doubts. Thank you and take care. See you again.